Hey there, my Battlefield friends. You have probably been disappointed that I posted some other videos about Battlefield, or maybe you haven't, but I'm trying to not just have, a channel where I just play the same game all the time like some YouTubers do. And I know they have to do that because that's how they make their money. And I'm not in it for the money here. I'm in it for the fun. I love to entertain people, and I know that not everyone likes what I do, and nobody needs to watch my videos. If they don't like them, then they don't have to come here and not watch it. And whoever likes them, it makes me happy that I can provide something that you enjoy. And that's also the reason I make music, because I love to just make things. I've always liked that. Even when I was still very, very little, I made drawings for friends and anyone that just wanted a drawing from me, and it just made me very happy, even if I didn't get anything back for it. And that's kind of how YouTube is. I don't make things in order to expect something back, like in this case money. Of course it would be nice if you would earn money from something you like to do, but the reality is that most people that are posting stuff on YouTube don't really make money. And I think the best channels are the ones where people are in it for the fun and not for the money. You can just kind of get the feeling, when someone just does it for the money. And I think if you do it for the money, you just burn out very fast. And speaking of making money on YouTube, there was this rumor just recently about Microsoft and EA paying YouTubers to basically promote their products. And it's not, YouTubers like me, it's like the big YouTubers, the big names, apparently were asked to not say anything negative about Xbox One and about Battlefield and some other EA games, not mention any bugs. And guess I'm out because I mentioned a lot of bugs. So anyway, but then just today I read an article where they were saying that those YouTubers were defending themselves, saying that that's not true and that they would always tell the truth and they wouldn't do such a thing, and they were never asked to do that. So who knows what's true? I'm pretty sure that one of those money hungry big name YouTubers would jump at the opportunity to promote a product even though they don't believe in it, just to make a couple of $100 here and there, or however how much they pay. So I can imagine if that was really true, the money would be probably pretty good. And people are easy to buy, that's the problem nowadays. I mean, even on Amazon, I purchased stuff on Amazon and later on got an email from the seller asking me to leave a positive review, and if I do, they give me a coupon or they give me something in return. And it's like, that's why you see so many fake reviews on Amazon where people just say, oh, how amazing a product is, even though they hated it, they returned it, they didn't like it, they don't believe in it, And then of course there is always such reviewers. They do say, if something is good and they really did like it, but you just never know what's real and what's not. And that's just how the world is nowadays. So back to this game. I'm playing some Rush here, and as you can see, I'm trying to rack up 10 kills because I'm still working on my Phantom Prospect assignment, which I need 210 kills. And I usually take advantage of someone else driving the tank because it's easier to get kills this way, because you don't have to worry about moving the tank, you just have to worry about hitting the target. But there's some people that do both really, really well. But the best is always like if you like two people in a tank, because you're much, much more powerful than if you're alone. It's very, very hard to take out all the people that come running at you with C4 and rocket launchers and everything, and at the same time trying to keep your tank moving and not getting stuck on things. I usually when I drive, I get always stuck on things, and it's like annoying. So I try to avoid driving a tank if I can. I mean, in rare occasions I do drive a tank too, but if there's just a situation where I have to, but most of the time I try to just jump onto somebody else's tank like I did here. And we're successfully arming those two comm stations, and we're moving on to the next two comm stations. And I have to say, this driver that I'm with here, he is really good because he knows to kind of not move on too fast, to stay back and take out all the enemies that he can see from a distance before moving on farther. And now he's like thinking that there's no more enemies, so he moves on a little farther and a little farther, and we don't see any enemies right now, so we think that it's kind of safe to go here now. But here someone is coming, trying to blow us up, and rockets are flying, so I'm out of here. I don't want to die in this tank, so there's snipers also from the top, so it's pretty much the best bet here to just keep moving as much as you can. As you can see, you just get shot from all angles, and that's kind of like typical for Rush. You just basically I always think the defender has the advantage because they have all those hiding spots and they can just wait for you to run right into their arms. And there's been a lot of Rush matches that I've been in, and they have been so frustrating because we were pushing so hard, and no matter how hard we pushed, the enemy was just so good. They were so good at defending this that they were just had really good positions, and if they position themselves strategically in really good places, there's almost nothing you can do to take them out. And you know, you have like one tank gets blown to pieces, then you were like just stuck with infantry. And then look at that, the enemy has like a helicopter and a tank, and there's just really nothing you can do. So sometimes it feels a little bit unbalanced in Rush, and it can be frustrating, but you know, when the match is very balanced like it is here, where we do push forward but it doesn't go too fast, you know, you have fun. It's like a challenge, but not too big of a challenge. It's like, you know, there's a like hope, you know, you're like, we can do this, maybe not on the first try or the second try, but on the third try we can do this, instead of there's no way we can do this. I mean, we just keep dying and dying and dying. So if you do care about your death kill ratio, you probably shouldn't play Rush, because you will die a lot in a lot of matches, you know, unless you're lucky that the enemy team is not that good and your team is really good, then you can just keep pushing and get a lot of kills. I mean, it can be either way. But in this match, it was actually really funny because my team was kind of like playing a game with the defenders, it seemed, because they were not going for the comm station. Nobody was arming them, even though they were wide open and there was all the chances you had to arm them. And so halfway through the match, I was like, this is very strange, and this match is going way too long for me. So I don't care what kind of game they're trying to play here, if they're teasing the enemy or whatever. I want to eventually finish this match, so I just went and armed this comm station, and I didn't even see someone disarm it. For some reason it got disarmed. I have no clue where this guy came from. So I arm it again, and I hope that finally this thing is blowing up so we can move on. And you can see my team all of a sudden is here, and I still don't know what kind of game they were playing and why they were not arming the comm station, even though there was no enemies around the comm station. I don't know. It was just the match went on for a really long time because of that, and I didn't realize that until halfway through. So finally, thank God, this thing is gone, so we can finally move on up onto the hill. And up on the hill, the same thing happened again, that the comm station was right in front of us and nobody went for it, and there was no enemies, and I was just like, what is going on here? And they're probably going to hate me if I arm the comm station, but you know, I want to win this game and somebody has to arm it, you know. And if you have a match that just goes on for an hour and longer, it just eventually gets kind of old, gets boring. But, you know, some people may like that, so I don't know what's going on. But as you can see here, we're moving up, and the two comm stations sit here. And I see this guy up there, one of my guys, and he's not going for the comm station. He just kind of like runs around, and my other people are down there just kind of like shooting back and forth a little bit. And I'm like thinking, okay, let's see. First of all, I gotta see if there's you know, any enemies around that I have to take out first before I run to the comm station. I don't usually like to run to the comm station until I know it's free. And I see there's no enemies, not on well, there's one back there, but one of my guys is going there finally to arm it. I think it was just me and the other guy that actually did try to arm the comm stations. Or maybe I was just thinking that. I don't know what's going on. So like I'd say, this guy's running by. This guy doesn't go for it either. So I'm like, why are they not going for it? So I'm going for it. So here we go. You can just hate me if you want, but I don't know. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. I thought that was kind of interesting. Maybe that's like something that's common in Battlefield 4, that some of the teams like to do this teasing back and forth kind of game, or they just like the shootouts more than they like to do the comm station arming. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so this was a pretty easy task for us here because we pushed the enemy really hard to the background and therefore we won. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.